What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another recap video for you. But first, I have my buddy, my pal, my friend, Hayden from Let's Talk with Hayden. He's in town. He'll be helping me recap the events around the majors here today. So, I'm glad you're here, Sport.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. MLB Chatterbox. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. And yeah, super excited to be here. Let's get it.
Yeah, and do not forget to subscribe to Let's Talk with Hayden real quick. Go check his channel out. Does a lot of good live streams, a couple videos as well. So yeah, do not forget to check him out over on YouTube. Once again, that's Mets Talk with Hayden. Now, let's start off in South Florida, where the Marlins were looking to avoid a series loss at home versus Toronto, and Luis Arraez was trying to raise his average above 400 once again. Now, the Birds put up 5 runs on 6 hits in the second after a double from Biggio and 3 RBI singles from Kiermaier, Springer, and Merrifield. Now, Miami would get to within 2 runs after Garrett Hampson singled to right past a diving Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to bring in Davis from second base. It was 5-3 Blue Jays. Now, unfortunately, just a half inning later, the Marlins' hopes of a comeback quickly dissipated following Matt Chapman's 10th home run of the year. This solo blast gave the Jays a 6-3 lead and the eventual win by that score. Now, when it comes to Arraez, his average coming into play sat at .398 and dropped to .396 after going 0 for 1 to start off the game. However, after a single to center for his first hit of the game, that raised his average up to .397, and he would end the contest going 2 for 4 after recording his second hit as he slashed a ball to right. This basically put Arraez breaking even for the day when it comes to his average, because he did end the contest still batting a close .398, so he's right there at the precipice of 400 once again. So it's going to be a really fun watch to see how far and how close he can maintain that 400 average going into the All-Star break and beyond. Now let's head down to Cincinnati, where the Reds were trying to win their 11th game in a row and continue a historic run versus Colorado. On the bump for the Redlegs was lights-out rookie Andrew Abbott, who entered Wednesday on a 17 2/3 scoreless inning streak. But things did not look good for Abbott after he gave up a leadoff bomb to Brenton Doyle and would proceed to give up 2 more home runs to Rockies hitters in the 2nd and 4th inning, putting Cincinnati in a 3-0 deficit. However, Cincinnati continued to fight back to tie the game at 3 in the 5th after a Maley 2-run single and a TJ Friedel RBI knock to center. Then the big blow came in the 8th as Jake Farley socked a ball over the right field wall to give the Reds a 5-3 lead and their 11th win in a row. Now, you have to ask, well, how have the Reds done it? How have the Reds done it, Hayden?
Yeah, you know, the Reds have been a very interesting season. Obviously, I think a big recognition to the Reds' success this season is just their relentless offense. And it's been from a lot of their rookies and pre-arbitration guys, as we can take an examination with the Cincinnati Reds offense. 68 runs over their last 11 games. The run creation there is surreal. A 6.18 runs a game. So, I mean, that's just phenomenal to think about. You look at their starting pitching, their rotation. 2-3 years ago are arguably very inadequate, one of the worst. Their pitching has really taken over. Their bullpen is picking up their starters. The pitching staff has a team ERA of 3.65. They are unbelievably hot right now, and there's no other way to say it.
Now, it seems that the Ohtani trade rumors have been completely silenced most recently, despite us being closer to the August 1st trade deadline. Kind of weird, right? Well, obviously, the reasoning is because the Halos have been winning and winning big time as of late. They are 11-14 in their last 25 games. They're tied for 2nd place with the Astros, sitting just 5 games behind the Texas Rangers in their division. But this notion about Ohtani being off the trade block isn't just coming from fans or local radio stations or even national media. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth, and that is the Angels GM Perry Minasian, who was asked directly about Ohtani trade rumors, and he said, quote, "I think anybody who has watched us play or looked where we're at in standings, I've said it before, I'll say it again, we like him, and we hope he's here a long time. It's pretty self-explanatory with where we're at," he said. And again, he was asked a follow-up regarding the same thing, and he reiterated the point that Ohtani is not going anywhere. He says, again, it's pretty self-explanatory. If we win, we're not trading him. And to be quite frank, I honestly think the Angels must be in the best worst-case scenario a team could ever be in, because, again, they're doing really, really well. The ball club is, but Ohtani's doing amazing as well. So it's not like, oh, the Angels are doing well and Ohtani's having a subpar year, below average year. So maybe they could re-sign him, devalue him a little bit when it comes to the negotiating table. But no, they're doing great and Ohtani's doing amazing. I mean, he entered Tuesday slashing 300, 384, and 632 with an MLB leading 24 home runs and 55 stakes. And in the 14 starts on the bump, he's also gone 6-2. I know you don't like the record, but hey, the record's there. And his ERA of 3.29 and 105 strikeouts in just 82 innings pitched. Also, he leads the club in literally every available offensive and pitching category you can imagine. Just take a look at what I'm popping up on the screen right here. Just based off of what he's doing, he's not going anywhere. But let's just say Angels were doing bad. Let's just say that they were doing bad, they're in last place, whatever, and Ohtani's doing great. And they need to trade him. You have another problem. All the teams that were projected to nab Ohtani pre-2023 suck. Yankees suck. Mets suck. Padres suck. Dodgers are like mid. So I mean, Hayden, what do you do if you're the Angels right now?
So right now you take an examination at what the Angels are doing, and like everyone's seeing, the Angels are playing really good baseball. The last couple years that has not been the case. They've lacked in a lot of certain categories, whether it was offense, whether it was starting pitching, whether it was the bullpen, or whether it was pitching as a whole. And right now, all around, they're a pretty good team. They're built solid in most categories. And Shohei Ohtani is a big contributor to that team. Like we saw, like we've been seeing with the stats, Ohtani is carrying this team big time. I think you could use the term carrying. And right now, you look at it, Mike Trout isn't even playing that great. He was hurt for a little bit. Kind of, rough start to the season. I know it's June, but still, Ohtani has been carrying. You look at a lot of the other guys on that team, Brandon Drury, Velasquez, whoever. The Angels are getting the job done, and you look at the other ball teams that could go out. Like we said, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Padres, all the other big spenders are not playing super great right now. Could that encourage those teams to be a little bit more aggressive at the trade deadline or in the offseason? Well, that's a topic for another day. But I think if you're the Angels and you're playing 5-10 games above or around 500, you're in contention.
Okay, the teams that are in first place right now, the Rays, throw in Baltimore because they're doing really, really well. The Twins, the Braves, the Reds, the Diamondbacks. One of those first place teams could maybe have enough to get him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm thinking maybe the Braves. And that's a big maybe.
And that's going to halt a lot of prospects. I mean, I don't think the Angels are going to let Ohtani go, cheap. I mean, say what you want about the Soto and Josh Bell trade last year, how the Padres worked that deal really well. That's not going to be the case for Angels and Ohtani. If Ohtani is to get traded, you're giving up a good chunk of your farm system and a couple active players. So it's going to be a big trade.
Now, let's go to Pittsburgh, where the Cubs took care of the Buccos as they completed the sweep. Chicago took a 2-1 lead in the third after a Nico Hoerner triple, then a half double extended their lead by 4. Finally, Hoerner came through once again and put the nail in the Pirates' coffin after a home run, making it 6-1 Cubs as they would win by that score. Now, the only good news for Pirates fans to come out of this weekend was the MLB debut of Henry Davis, a former #1 overall pick of the 2021 MLB draft. Now, Hayden, take it away on this guy.
Yeah, so Henry Davis is obviously, like MLB Chatterbox just stated, he was selected first in the 2021 overall draft, selected by, of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Henry Davis has really been killing it in the Pirates farm system since he was drafted by them. In the span of a year and a half, he moved up from the bottom of the food chain to all the way the highest. So far, in 2023, he started the year in AA. Just recently got called up to AAA, and a lot of people thought he'd spend a lot more time down there, but obviously the Pirates are having some complexity, a couple injuries with their catching situation, so they made the call up from AAA to call up Henry Davis. Davis was having a pretty good season. It's a small sample size when it comes to AAA, but hey, the numbers, they don't lie. Henry Davis had a slash line of .286, .482, and .514, posting an OPS of .946 with only one home run. So you like to see those stats. What can you expect with Davis? Well, obviously he is a catcher. When you examine the defense, the scouts and the reports say that he could be a little bit stiff behind the plate. there are some worries of him defensively, possibilities of maybe him only playing 3 games behind the plate and then he's learning to play right field. He has a good arm, so there's a possibility that they want to get him some reps in the outfield. It's kind of unusual to see from a catcher outfielder, but hey, if the duo works, it works. Offensively, he has a little bit of an unorthodox approach at the plate, but his plate discipline, plate recognition is phenomenal, definitely top tier, very elite. So you like to see that. He's a guy who could hit a lot of hard contact. You could expect, I could say this could be a guy who could have 25, 35 home runs a season. Hard exit velocity, hard hit rate, power machine. Spreads the ball to both sides of the field. He walks a lot. I would say the only concern with him is the defense, and he does tend to crowd the plate a little bit, which have resulted in a lot of injuries through his minor league career. But if he could work on that, the Pittsburgh Pirates and their fans should be in a very happy situation. Arguably a franchise player.
And that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts. Subscribe to Mets Talk with Hayden over on YouTube. And since you're here, subscribe to MLB Chatterbox right down below. I'd appreciate it. And as always, I'll catch you later.